Sa video natin ngayon, dynamics naman pag-uusapan natin. So itong dynamics, it is the branch of science that deals with the motion of bodies under the action of forces. And then meron tayong dalawang distinct parts. Merong kinematics, which is the study of motion of bodies without reference to the forces causing motion. So itong kinematics, it focuses on displacement, velocity, acceleration, and time. Yung mga vectors natin. And then kinetics naman, it is a study that relates the action of forces on bodies to their resulting motion. So dito sa kinetics, we will study forces saka torques. Ayan. So before we tackle any problem, it's important to study Newton's 3 laws of motion. So Newton's first law, ito yung description niya. An object at rest will stay at rest, and an object in motion will stay in motion at a constant velocity unless acted upon by an external force. So kapag meron kang box, tapos wala kang i-apply na force, the box will remain at rest. However, in a perfectly ideal na system, yung surfaces natin, let's say walang friction. So kapag walang friction and then you will apply a force sa box na to, mangyayari dyan, it will continue to move infinitely. So let's say we have this force and then applying it, yung box magmo-move siya indefinitely. Ayan. It won't stop unless merong external force. Pero sa real life kasi merong air resistance, merong friction, so the body will eventually stop due to those forces acting. Pero again, in an ideal system, a body in motion will stay in motion kapag walang external forces. Now dito naman tayo sa second law. The acceleration of an object is directly proportional to the net force acting on it, and inversely proportional naman to its mass. It is expressed mathematically as force equals mass times acceleration. So essentially, yung definition na to, parang acceleration equals proportional to the net force, so F, then inversely proportional to the mass, so acceleration is equal to force divided by mass. Pero sinimplify lang natin, ginawa nating F equals ma. So consider the two objects shown. Let's say we have a person trying to push the boxes. This box will be harder to push kasi mas malaki siya, mas malaki yung mass, given nga same material yung dalawa. And then exerting the same force, possible na mag-move na yung box na to, but ito naman hindi. So naturally, ito yung mas madaling i-push kasi maliit lang yung mass ng box. Ayan. So ito naman, nag-exert na siya ng malaking force pero hindi pa rin gumalaw due to the mass being inversely proportional to the acceleration of the object. Now yung third law naman, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. When one object exerts a force on another, the second object exerts a force of equal magnitude but in the opposite direction on the first object. So itong mga concepts na to, this was already discussed in your junior high school. Pero recall na lang natin para mas madali nating maintindihan yung mga dynamics na concepts. So let's say, meron tayong cue stick and then we are going to hit the cue ball. So parang ganyan. And then once the cue stick hits the cue ball, yung cue ball, magmo-move na siya pa ganyan due to the force applied sa cue stick. So ganito yung movement. Ayan. Tapos if the cue ball hits this yellow ball, so yellow ball yan, so yan yung 1 sa billiards, di ba? So kapag matatamaan na siya, it will also exert a force of equal magnitude but in the opposite direction, causing this ball to move this way. It will move in the direction perpendicular to the point of tangency at the instant of impact. So mangyayari dyan, draw ka ng perpendicular line sa point of tangency, yung movement ng yellow ball patungo dito. Ayan. Pero once the cue ball hits this ball, meron din siyang movement. Mag-change din yung direction niya. So parang ganito yung mangyayari. Ayan. Nako, na-scratch. Diba? Hindi kasi tama yung spin. So kaya, nag-scratch siya. Pero kapag master mo yung billiards, tas engineering ka pa, ito yung mangyayari. Ako baton, Arde. Ako maganda dito.
I-pull the pikas. Antay.
No, dito saktong basics.
Yeah, nabi ano to. Klaro ako to. Now dito naman tayo sa types of motion. First, we have rectilinear motion. It is the motion along a straight line with all particles of the body moving on parallel paths at the same speed. So we have a straight line. Ito yung path ng object natin. Itong circular object. So paganyan lang kapag rectilinear motion. Ayan. Now, meron ding curvilinear motion. This happens when the motion is along a curved path. So, kapag meron kang curved surface, and then this is our object, if you let it roll sa path na to, curvilinear motion yung mangyayari. So, pag ganito yung movement niya. Tapos, kapag andito na siya, it will now be subjected to parabolic motion naman. If you will continue this. Pero ito lang yung focus muna natin sa first few topics. Tapos, meron namang rotational motion. It is a special case of curvilinear motion in which all the particles of the body are traveling along concentric circular paths whose centers lie on the axis of rotation, which is perpendicular to any circular path. So, consider a globe, and then papaikutin natin. Ayan. Yan yung rotational motion. Now, itong oscillatory motion naman, it is the back and forth motion about a fixed point in a periodic manner. So, an example of this are pendulums. So, kagaya nito. Another example would be swings din. Now, meron ding circular motion if the motion is in a circular path around a fixed point or axis. So, consider the satellite shown. Yung path niya is around the fixed point, which is itong planet Earth. So, yung movement niya, pag ganito. Ayan. Opposite pala. Ayan. Circular motion. Tapos, meron ding projectile motion. It is the motion of an object that is thrown or projected into the air, following a curved path under the influence of gravity. So, yan yung sinabi ko kanina. Doon sa curvilinear motion, once it leaves the surface, magiging projectile motion na siya. So, madidiscuss din natin yan sa future topics natin. Now, dito naman sa terminologies, first, we have displacement. It is defined as the vector that represents the shortest straight line distance and direction from an object's initial position to its final position. It is a vector quantity, meaning it has both magnitude and direction. So, yung displacement, parang ganito yan. Let's say we have an object, nag-move siya toward the right, let's say by 50 units, and then it moved up by 40 units. Ayan. So, di ba, sinabi dito na it is defined as a vector that represents the shortest straight line distance from an object's initial position. So, ito yung initial position, ito naman yung final position. Ayan. So, the shortest straight line that can be formed would be the one connecting the final position to the initial position. Ayan. And then, yung resultant, it connects the initial position to the final position. So, the direction would be paganto. Tail of the first distance or any quantity pwedeng force going to the head of the last. So, ito na yung magiging resultant. Na pwede rin na yung object mo, let's say this is the starting position, and then it moved 100 units to the right. And then let's say, yung second instance of motion niya, it moved, sabihin natin, 50 units going to the left. Ayan. So, the shortest distance na connecting the initial position to the final position would be this one. Ayan. So, ito na yung displacement. So, this would just simply be 100, tapos babawasan natin ng 50. So, 50 rin yan. Ayan. Tapos, ito naman, to obtain this distance, just get the hypotenuse of this triangle. So parang square root of 50 squared plus 40 squared. Now we have linear displacement if the change in position is a linear distance. And then angular displacement naman if the change in position is measured in degrees or radians. Now sa kinematics, ito muna. Yung linear displacement pa yung interest natin. Now for displacement, the scalar equivalent is distance. So di ba kapag scalar, magnitude lang yung meron. Kapag displacement naman, meron ka ng direction. Since this is a vector quantity. So the total distance traveled is the total path length without considering direction. So balik tayo sa example natin. Kapag displacement, itong 50, yan yung sagot natin. Pero kapag total distance traveled, it will be, di ba, nag-travel siya 100 units to the right, and then 50 naman going to the left. So kapag distance, magiging 100 plus 50. So the total is 150. Pero kapag displacement, ayan, we have to account the signs. So 100 units to the right, let's say positive yung to the right, 100, and then nag-move siya to the left by 50 units, so minus 50 following a sign convention. So magiging 50. So di ba, yan yung na-solve natin kanina. Yan yung displacement, and then total distance naman, i-add mo lahat. Tapos kukunin mo yung absolute value without considering the signs. Now, meron naman tayong velocity. It is the rate of change of the position of an object with respect to time. It is a vector quantity, so it has magnitude and direction. Now, yung scalar equivalent naman ng velocity, yan yung tinatawag natin na speed. So, for velocity, yung unit niya is meter per second, kilometer per hour, feet per second, etc. Basta unit of distance divided by a unit of time. And then for angular velocity naman, the unit is revolution per minute or radians per second. Ito yung mga pinaka-common. Tapos meron tayong apat na types ng velocity. We have the instantaneous velocity. Ito yung velocity at a specific instance. So let's say, at time equals to, ano yung velocity niya, yan yung instantaneous velocity. Tapos, average velocity naman, kapag displacement divided by the total time. Bale, total displacement yan divided by total time. And then, the linear velocity is dx over dt. Angular velocity naman is d theta over dt. So, our symbol for angular velocity is omega. Parang W na naka-curve. Now, di ba, kapag average velocity, displacement, total displacement divided by total time. Kapag average speed naman, yung formula mo, magiging total distance divided by total time. So, balik tayo dito. For example, the time it took to travel up to this point in total is, sabihin natin, 4 seconds. If you want the average speed, ayan, you have to use 150. Bale, 150 divided by total time, 4 seconds. Kapag average velocity naman, you have to use the displacement. So, the displacement is 50. 50 divided by 4 seconds. So, kapag average speed, 150 divided by 4, magiging 37.5. So, sabihin na lang natin, this is in meters. Ayan. So, meter per second. And then, for the average velocity, 50 divided by 4, we have 12.5. So, medyo merong discrepancy talaga kapag average speed or average velocity. Kapag nag-switch ng direction yung object. Pero kapag hindi siya nag-switch ng direction, then both quantities may be the same. But hindi yan usually yung case. Now, for acceleration naman, it is the rate of change of velocity with respect to time. So, it is still a vector quantity, meaning it has both magnitude and direction. And then the units of acceleration include meter per second squared, feet per second squared, etc. basta unit of distance divided by unit of time na naka-square. By the way, again, itong speed, this is a scalar quantity pala. Scalar, tapos yung velocity naman, vector. So, for acceleration, for tangential acceleration, ito yung ginagamit pa natin sa kinematics. A sub t is equal to dv over dt. Rate of change of velocity with respect to time. And then for the normal or centripetal acceleration, we have a sub n equals v squared over r. Now, this happens for bodies in a circular path. And then r here is the radius of the circular path. Now, the acceleration of the body can be uniform if it is constant for all time intervals. And then yung usual na ginagamit natin for free-falling motion, itong 9.81 saka 32.2. So, ito yung tinatawag natin na gravitational constant. And then, when converting 9.81 to 32.2, you can just multiply 9.81 by 3.28. Kasi diba, 1 meter is equal to 3.28 feet. So, equals, dyan mo makukuha yung 32.2. Now, nag-round off lang tayo dyan to simplify the constant. For bodies in motion not involving gravity, the initial direction of the displacement determines the positive sign of acceleration. So, let's say, merong body initially moving to the left. Yung to the left, yan yung magsisignify ng positive acceleration. And then, kapag to the right naman yung initial na displacement, then it will also define the positive sign of acceleration. So, ngayon, meron tayong equations of rectilinear motion. Distance is equal to velocity times time. And then, final velocity equals initial velocity plus minus acceleration times time. Now, yung plus minus, this depends sa acceleration. Whether decelerating yung object or accelerating. Kapag accelerating, positive yung A, and then kapag decelerating naman, negative. And then we have final velocity squared equals initial velocity squared plus minus 2as. The positive and negative sign still depends on acceleration pa rin. Then S equals vi times t, initial velocity times time, and then plus or minus 1/2 at squared. So, yung S dyan, yan yung displacement. Now, i-derive natin yung equations na yan using calculus sa next topics natin. Pero before tayo mag-solve ng problems na meron na talagang application, kagaya nito, let's first understand kinematics by calculus para mas maging holistic yung approach niya talaga when tackling problems involving kinematics.